They called him a nobody. 7 minutes later, he put her in handcuffs. This is the moment the world saw his true power. The nobody. They laughed at him, not because he was weak, but because they couldn't see his strength. He walked into that courtroom quietly. No fame, no badge, no status. Just a man, carrying years of discipline, scars, and silence. She looked him dead in the eyes and called him a nobody, loud enough for everyone to hear. But here's the thing. The ones who speak the loudest often know the least. And in that moment, she didn't know who she was talking to. She didn't know that the man she just humiliated wasn't just standing there. He was rising. The man they underestimated. You see, there's a dangerous kind of man, not the one who talks, not the one who shows off, but the one who listens, learns, waits. That was him. He didn't need to explain himself. He didn't argue, because he knew something deeper. That success doesn't need a stage. It just needs time. 7 minutes. That's all it took. 7 minutes later, the same man she called a nobody was the one putting her in cuffs. Let action speak. The room went silent. Not because of fear, but because the truth had arrived. And the truth doesn't need an introduction. It just walks in and changes everything. She asked, how? But the answer wasn't in his words. It was in the nights he stayed up working, the mornings he trained in silence, the choices he made when no one believed in him. He didn't arrest her to prove a point. He did it because it was time. Because sometimes justice walks in wearing the face you mocked, and it walks out without needing your permission. The weight of silence. What she didn't understand was that silence isn't weakness, it's control, it's power held back. It's the discipline of a man who's already fought battles no one saw and survived. For years, he was overlooked, dismissed, laughed at. But instead of breaking, he built, brick by brick, setback by setback, until every scar became a reason to rise, not to quit. And when the world finally looked his way, he didn't scream. He simply acted, because men like him don't need validation. They are the validation. The moment everything changed, 7 minutes. That's all it took for years of hard work to reveal itself. 7 minutes to turn humiliation into justice, laughter into silence, doubt into awe. She thought she was safe. She thought she had power, but real power doesn't wear arrogance. It wears humility and discipline. When he stepped forward and revealed the truth, the courtroom didn't just shift. The air changed. Everyone could feel it. The weight of a man who had finally shown what he was made of. He didn't come for revenge. He came to remind the world. Never mistake silence for absence. Never mistake patience for weakness. The fire beneath. There's a fire that lives in the quiet ones. A fire that doesn't shout. It burns. It fuels late nights, early mornings, and days when quitting feels easier than breathing. He had every reason to give up, every reason to walk away, but he didn't, because some people are built in the dark, forged in failure, sharpened by rejection. She couldn't see the fire in him until it touched her world, until it flipped the script. And by then, it was too late, because the man she thought was a nobody had become everything she could never be. Relentless, resilient, unstoppable. The man behind the badge. The world saw the badge after the moment. But what they didn't see was the man behind it. Not a uniform, not a title, but a soul that had walked through fire, that had fallen, failed, and risen, alone. He didn't earn respect by demanding it. He earned it by surviving what most would crumble under, by holding his ground when everything inside him begged to run. And now, he stood not just as an officer of the law, but as a reminder. You don't need a spotlight to become powerful. You just need pain turned into purpose. Power isn't given, it's taken. She thought she had the system. She thought she had control. But what she didn't know is that power isn't something you're handed. It's something you earn in silence. He didn't come from privilege. He wasn't handed his path. Every inch of his climb was built through discipline, through nights of doubt, through mornings where quitting felt easier than rising. But he kept rising. And when the moment came, he didn't flinch, he didn't freeze. He executed with clarity, precision, and purpose. That's what real power looks like. Unapologetic, unshakable. Justice wears no name. Justice doesn't care about status. It doesn't care about who you pretend to be. It shows up when truth is ready and lies have run out of breath. That courtroom became more than just four walls. It became a stage where silence was louder than screams and presence spoke louder than titles. She mocked a man thinking he had no power, but justice reminded her, the one you disrespect today might be the one writing your ending tomorrow. And when the cuffs clicked shut, it wasn't about revenge, it was about closure, about balance. The rise of a nobody. He never needed recognition. He never asked to be seen, because true greatness doesn't beg to be noticed. It becomes undeniable. He walked out of that courtroom the same way he walked in, quiet, focused, grounded. But everything had changed, not for him, for them, because that day, they didn't just see a man arrest someone, they saw a man rise from nobody to legend, without saying a single word. This story isn't just about her downfall, it's about his rise, a reminder to every soul out there feeling unseen. Your silence has power, your struggle has purpose, and one day the world will watch you rise, and they'll wonder how they ever called you a nobody. He walked in silent, but left as a symbol, not of revenge, but of rise, because sometimes the nobody becomes the name they'll never forget.